Joey's going to testify about what happens when you follow Jesus. All right, so here it goes. You ready, Joey? You ready?
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I guess
You can do it.
I'm up here, so I have to be ready.
Come on.
So I'm Joey. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm a little shy. I used to just come in 5 minutes before church and duck out before anybody could talk to me. But Pastor asked me to come up here, and I do. So, I grew up in the church, and I rebelled, and I wanted to see what was out there. So I did.
Me too. Anybody else?
Right?
All right, a lot of success.
So that led me down quite the rabbit hole, which was hard for me for a long time. And I went to a London Knights game on February 1st, and I came home, and the Holy Spirit met me where I was at, and I literally broke down and started crying and said, "I love you too."
Don't say that again, though. That part, I love that part.
In my sin and in my rebellion and in my ways, He came and met me where I was at. I didn't have to change on my own before He would come and meet me. He did come and meet me, and He told me, "Hey, I love you." Well, I was like, "Wow, oh my goodness, it was intense." And He says, "There's a couple," so it was time for house cleaning. He says, "There's a couple of things we got to work on." And I said, "Yeah, okay." So there's a couple of things I knew needed to go, and so I was fine with that because He had already been working on me for quite a while. And so I said, yeah, no problem. That's okay. I can do that. Check mark there, right? And he says, "While you're at it," he says, "why don't you throw your pack of cigarettes away?" I was just like, "Oh my goodness, are you serious right now?" I had a lot of fear, and I've been wanting to quit smoking for a long, long time, and I had a lot of fear and wasn't really able to do it. And I had 2 cigarettes left, and he says, "You can smoke those 2, and after that," he says,
Wow. Somebody, that's all they're going to remember after the service. You can smoke those 2. That's good because I got 2. Sorry, that's.
Oh man,
I love that. That's awesome.
Not
all right,
kidding.
you can smoke those 2. All right.
Yeah. You smoke those 2, and he says, he says, because it was garbage day that day, and I was out having a smoke on my front porch, and he says, after he says, throw that cigarette pack, open up the garbage bag, throw the cigarette pack in there, and he says, while you're at it, he says, go around the corner, get the cigarette, the tin, the Maxwell House coffee, right? Just cut a slot in and put your butts in there. Every smoker knows what I'm talking about. So he says, get that, throw that in the cigarette bag too. And I had a lot of fear, and I said, okay, well, you got to help me. And I literally told him, I said, you have to help me. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. You have to help me.
No buts. No buts. No ifs, ands, or buts.
That's good. You said you're gonna help me, and He has. So
sure, I hope so.
That's good.
I'm there for you.
Right, and so I did, and I woke up the next morning, and I had no fear, none. Because I'm not a slave to fear. I'm a child of God.
Hey.
Yeah. Seriously though, and yeah, it was hard, but I did it, and. It's crazy, and I was thinking about the offering, give him the first fruits, and He also asked me to do something else, which was give Him the first fruits of my time too. So as soon as I get up in the morning, I just spend time with Him and try to get to know Him better, and so I've been going to the gym, get up at 6:30 and go to the gym and.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. No, go ahead. You're doing fine. You're doing good.
Okay, yeah. Well, just and one more thing, because I've been hearing a lot of people talk about surrender, and I wasn't exactly sure what that was. So I was in the sauna, and I asked him. I said, I need to know what surrender means. How do I follow you? And the Holy Spirit told me. He says you have to surrender your rights. I said, well, what does that mean? He says, in your life of the flesh on this world, you have certain rights. I have the right to be offended. I have the right to be depressed. I have all those kind of rights, right? Somebody says something to me, hey, I have the right to be offended at you. Well, actually, no, I don't, because I'm supposed to walk in love, right? You know, a lot of things have happened to me in my past and in my childhood. I have the right to be angry. Well, no, I don't, because I am a new man and all things have passed away. Right? So
Yeah.
but I get new rights, right? I get
new
the right
rights.
to a love life, and I get
Yeah.
the right to a new dad.
Yeah.
I get the right to be a part of this church.
Yeah.
And I picked this church, and you're my pastor, and you have to be, so.
It's an honor and a privilege, buddy. I'm telling you.
And
I can't believe it. Every day I go, man, I get
I
to
know,
Pastor
right?
Joey. It's so good.
And one last thing on my third closing.
It's good. When you say I'm closing now, 68% of people pay more attention.
Is that true?
It's
Is that
absolutely
actual study?
true.
That's
It's
cool.
like closing, they just kind of.
Last week when you were talking about following, you said that, you know, it's your job to make people feel comfortable at this church. You know, for this guy, that's what you've done. I've come into this church and I've felt comfortable and welcomed and accepted, and I really appreciate that.
I love you, buddy. Good stuff. That was good. Amen.
All right.